Hello and welcome to a special episode of the Hearthstone Report. Now we just received news, well not just right now, but we recently received news about the new Hearthstone expansion that's coming up in about a month from now. I think December 4th.
It is December 4th, yes.
December 4th is when it's going to drop. And it's Rastakhan'S Rumble.
It is, yes.
That's interesting. That's not what I did see coming, but it's all about trolls. That's what I know.
Yes. I don't think anyone actually predicted this very specific thing, but that is probably because it's very specific.
There was a bunch of One Night in Rastakhan memes going on the Circle Jerk a few days before, where it just had, like, they painted some horns on Medivh and exchanged some letters.
In the previews for the year, they did show the image which kind of looked like the face paints of trolls on like a wooden shield. Mm-hmm. So some people speculate that it was about trolls.
Yeah.
And that seems to have proven true, which I do like a lot as well.
So this is going to be probably the strongest expansion of the year, and it's going to be Rumble themed. I like that. It's going to have a lot of strong cards, so it's going to be an interesting one. I also like the theme. It's pretty cool. So what do we have?
Well, first of all, we got a new keyword.
New keyword. I always like new keywords.
In a way, we got two new keywords, but we got one main one, which is overkill.
Overkill. Which sounds pretty good. I mean, sounds pretty tough. So the idea is that when you kill something deader than it even has to be killed to die, as in you deal more damage to it than it has health, then get a reward. They first revealed the weapon.
The warrior weapon.
Warrior weapon, which is a 4/4, right? With overkill. So that means that if you hit a minion that has 3 or less health, you can then attack again.
Well, that's the specific overkill effect. Yeah. That's not what overkill in general means.
In that case, you can attack again. Which means that in one turn, you can eradicate 2 entire Serenite chain gangs.
The other keyword that does exist actually relates to the next topic already, and that is shrines, which have the ability that they get resummoned after they're killed 3 turns later.
3 turns later, right.
The shrines are part of the new single-player mode, which is the Rumble Run.
The Rumble Run. That sounds deceptively similar to a dungeon run.
If you read the description, it doesn't get more different.
It's essentially the same thing as a dungeon run or a monster hunt.
Yes, it actually says...
Which I'm not opposed to. It's alright. We definitely had a change of pace with the boom lab puzzle, so I'm okay.
It says you start your run by picking one of 3 randomly selected troll champions, which sounds a bit like the arena selection.
Yeah.
This choice determines your class for this run and gives you a powerful minion on the board at the start of each match.
So we're starting with a minion on the board.
Which is the shrine. I think we've only seen one so far, which is Shervalas
Paladin.
Grace, which is a paladin one. It has shrine, which means that it arrives in 3 turns after dying. And it says, after you cast a spell on a friendly minion, cast a copy of it on this one, which can be incredibly powerful. Those types of cards will exist 1 per class.
So those are just going to be for the single player content. Those not going to be in construct important, right? And that's not going to be in arena, I'm assuming.
And presumably in a handful of tavern brawls, but that's of course
thematic tavern brawls. It's okay.
I think they had one of those at BlizzCon too.
A tavern brawl?
They did show some footage from a tavern brawl where they actually show play of 2 players facing each other, looking like trolls and having shrines. So apparently there is a brawl that simulates the single-player mode. I'm not sure if it was available to play for everyone or if that's just something they used internally and will release with the expansion.
Well, did it for Monster Hunter too, just very recently.
When the expansion drops, everyone will get one of the legendary Loa, which I suppose we should talk about that first. The cycles. Every class has 2 legendary cards, as it has been for a while now with every expansion. One of which are the Loa, which are the spirits that trolls worship.
They be restless.
Exactly. And the other legendary is a champion of the team in the Rumble that every class is associated with. You will get one of the legendary Loa, and you'll get a spirit for the same class. The spirits are 0/3s with stealth for 1 turn that have a passive effect. You will get those and 6 packs.
6 packs is also pretty good.
Just for logging in when the expansion drops.
Also, just in general, a tip to people: if right now is when you should start saving your coins. Don't buy any more Boomsday packs right now. Just wait until this drops and then buy on launch day. Buy packs if you're not gonna buy the bundles.
Talking about bundles, they introduced a new tier of bundles, which is the Challengers bundle, which has 17 card packs and gives you the card pack. For $50, you get the card pack, the new hero, which is Rastakhan himself. health and 50 card packs.
I don't like the card bag that much. I'm gonna probably stick with either Lemon or Van Cleave.
I mean, you're not gonna get the card pack unless you put money in anyways.
Oh, right. You're not gonna get it otherwise? Well, I'm not gonna buy 50. I'm not gonna spend 50.
There is presumably gonna be a 1 or 2 Rumble associated card packs in the seasons for the first 2 seasons for the expansion, because that's how they usually handled it.
Probably.
And there's probably also going to be one for the single player content, but this one that you're seeing right now is for pre-ordering and pre-ordering only.
But that's alright, I'm not interested in getting it anyway. If this came with a lemon card back, then I might put 50 bucks down. But
next we should talk about the cards and then about speculation about some other cards.
Okay, so the cards that have so far been revealed, we'll quickly go over them. First we have Shrivala the Tiger.
Yes.
And this already looks pretty good. Now it's a 25 mana 7/5 beast for Paladin. It's legend. It has Divine Shield, Rush, and Lifesteal, and it costs 1 less for each mana you've spent on spells. So this is more of a control type late game sort of Paladin card.
Exactly.
It's not gonna fit in with how Paladins operate right now.
We said at last expansion, I said they're introducing a lot of control Paladin cards, but I don't think control Paladin's gonna be a thing. They keep introducing control Paladin cards, which means together with last expansion, we might finally get enough stuff to actually have valid control Paladins.
Now people have been bringing up the idea of playing Holy Wrath again.
Yes.
Like the Hammett Jungle Launcher, this and Holy Wrath.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Like people used to do with, I think, Molten Giant.
Yeah, I mean, Molten Giant used to cost 25.
Yeah. So does this.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's at least an idea.
Guess you can do that.
And still, you can with a buff pally or control pally, you can get this down to 0 mana probably. If you're trying to do that, this is a really, really good one, especially if it's for 0.
Control Paladin looking like it might be a thing.
Soul Thrust is the weapon we already talked about. The 6 mana 4/4 with Overkill, you may attack again.
Exactly.
Pretty expensive, but maybe it's good.
I mean, it's basically
it's an anti-aggro tool.
It can be a board clear that also costs health.
Might be good against Zoo.
Yeah. I mean, you could just see all Paladin swarming the board with his dudes, but not being able to level. I mean, even if he's able to level them up right away, you can still kill 4 of them in one turn, which would of course mean taking 12 damage.
Not sure how much this is going to be utilized in aggro to maybe get through a wave of taunts in one.
Well, but that would mean that the taunts would have to have 3 or less health, which is Serna Chain Gang.
Chain Gang.
But like Tower Creepers and Stonehill Defenders, which are already not that expensive, would still at least hinder you from overkilling.
Maybe you run an upgrade or something with this weapon, or a Heroic Strike would probably also do.
Oh god, that's actually a good combination because it lasts for the entire turn. You basically can deal 32 damage in one turn.
Heroic Strike and you kill it.
24 of which will have to be against minions.
Sharkfin Fan is a 2 mana 2/2 common. It's a pirate, so they got pirates again. And after your hero attacks, you summon a 1/1 pirate. It does not have sharks. So the Sharkfin Fan, I don't know. This is gonna be played. There's probably gonna be some pirate stuff.
Well, yeah.
If it's gonna be played, it's gonna be played in the rogue. Sure.
The descriptions for the classes suggest that rogue is gonna get a lot of pirate stuff.
Yeah.
So
and rogue also happens to attack with their hero a lot.
This card, which already by name is associated with the Sharks, which is the rogue team, will potentially be played in rogue. There is other cards in Rogue that are going to be added in this expansion that synergize with Pirates, which we're going to get to later, so it makes perfect sense.
We have Spirit of the Shark, so this is the first Spirit card. 4 mana, 0/3, and it has the stealth for 1 turn, and it has the passive effect that your minions' battle cries and combos trigger twice. That's pretty good.
Well, the battle cries triggering twice is not unheard of. It's actually the first time in the game of Hearthstone that combos can trigger twice. Which, of course, instantly makes me think of cards like Advent and Cleave and Bite-Weave. You can then just play a handful of cards, and then right away get the super combo. You can play the Spirit of the Shark the turn before, because unless your opponent has a board clear, it's probably going to survive.
Exactly.
For the 1 turn at least, so you can then have a huge Advent turn.
But there's a lot of cards that work really well with this. Captain Greenskin, Elven Minstrel, and others that don't. For example, Valspine Slayer, right? That's not going to help you if you Slayer the same minion twice.
I still think it's
interesting.
It has really good potential. It has a really high ceiling, this card.
I like. Spirit of the Bat is the Warlock equivalent.
Yes.
Also stealth for 1 turn. And this is the passive effect that if a friendly minion dies, give a minion in your hand +1/+1.
And it's probably worth noting that this only costs 2 mana.
Yeah, so this is probably going to be ran in Zoo. I'm assuming?
I mean, yeah, it has friendly minions dying, which happens a lot in Zoo by nature of playing a lot of small minions. And the hand buffing is also really good for having...
Yeah, reinforces your next push, right? And this kind of goes along with the Warlock Legend, Hear'eek the Bat, which is 8 mana 1/1. Never seen that before. Battlecry, fill your board with copies of this minion. So you're essentially getting 7 Hear'eek the Bats. If you were to buff this up a bunch, say you soul infusing it and you kill 2 minions off with the Spirit of the Bat on the turn before, in that case you'll get a board full of 5/5s, which is really good. This by itself is just an Onyxia with a 1/1 instead of 8/8, but the buffing it up is what makes it possible, even though that's not necessarily what Warlock's been doing. I mean, soul infusion is the one card, I guess, and 3/3s would be alright. That's 27 stats.
There is another hand buff card that Warlock has, but it doesn't apply here, which is Void Analyst, but that only buffs demons.
Buffs demons, and this is a beast.
Yes.
Which I like, those beasts. So.
Most of the Loa are beasts. I suspect the only one that won't be is the priest one because it's like a necromancer, basically.
It's a zombie.
Yeah, the team's called a zombie.
So, priest spell Surrender to Madness. This one, when I saw it first, I was like, wow, this is really, really cool. 3 mana epic spell. Destroy 3 mana crystals and give all minions in your deck +2/+2. That's tough.
This is a bit of a weird one.
I like this.
I don't hate it either.
This might be super broken or super bad.
If you're playing it really early on, the loss of mana is probably too big to really counteract with the buff. Maybe. And if you're playing it later, your deck is already going to be half empty. So this kind of has its built-in checks and balances where it's less effective in the late game, but it also hurts less.
In control matchups like the control priest versus say Odd Warrior, you have the first 15 turns time to do nothing, right? So you might as well.
Yeah, I suppose.
I see in some, like if you're facing down aggro, like you're facing an Odd Paladin, you're never gonna play this.
No, because by the time it would be economically speaking feasible to play it, you're already dead.
Exactly. So in that case, you don't profit from the +2/+2 value.
Or you've already won either way.
That much. So, but this looks really, really cool. Immortal Prelate is the.
We also call it Kingsbane.
Yeah, we do kind of call it Kingsbane, but
it's Kingsbane, but it's a minion.
It's a minion. It has the exact same effect. Death Rattle, shuffle it into your deck.
It also has the same stats.
Enchantments. It's a 1/3, correct.
It does cost 2 mana.
As opposed to a weapon, though, it can be silenced.
Yes.
Which Kingsbane cannot, because it's a weapon. Kingsbane can be destroyed by weapon removal.
But it will be shuffled again.
It will be shuffled again. So this one needs to be silenced. And it looks pretty good. If you could, I mean, there's gonna be running silence now. This is an epic, so people can run 2 of those too, which I guess forces you to put more and more silence in. Then, this does not have a tribe, so you can't put mechs on there. You can't put crazy stuff on there. Just spell buffs.
Well, there is some minion-based buffs that work, but not a lot of them.
You're not gonna magnetize Zilliax on there, and all of a sudden you have a crazy high lifesteal rush with Divine Shield.
Also, I think this is one of those where the meta will correct for it. If a lot of people end up playing it, a lot of more people will end up playing silences, thereby less people will play the prelate, and it will just balance itself out.
Correct. So, Void Contract is the next one. This is also one that made me go, wow. 8 mana Warlock spell, destroy half of each player's deck.
Now, what a lot of people have been saying is, why does only Warlock get combo disruption?
Well, I don't know. Well, because probably it's one of the weakest classes to combo. But this is really strong. I can see people running, like even in a really slow control log, kicking 1 copy of Twisting and the other 4 copy of this. Just to be more versatile depending on what you're facing. This
is specifically really strong against combo decks, and that's
of course
pretty much it.
You can burn a Walk, you can burn a Grumble, you can burn a Mechathune.
I mean, you're bound in a combo deck, especially one that consists of more than 2 cards, the actual combo, you're basically bound to destroy one of the combo pieces.
Yeah, probably. Which is good.
One thing that I don't think was ever answered,
Mally,
but has been asked is, does it run up or down? It doesn't matter much, but it will be interesting to know. The problem is it's an 8 mana do nothing for a turn.
Well, yeah, but it can win the game too.
But it is very much a tech card.
Yeah, sure, but like I said, if a Warlock were to run 2 Twisting Nethers, I can see you running 1 of each. So, same cost, same rarity and all that.
I think it purely depends on the prevalence of combo decks in the new meta.
Yeah, sure. But combo, so far, I mean, all the Druid, it's definitely not bad to have.
And I don't think that any of the current decks, or at least most of the current decks, aren't going to disappear.
Yeah.
Some will have new cards in there. Some might attack it from a slightly different angle. But
this expansion should have a fairly strong impact on the meta since it's the last expansion of the year. But yeah, we'll see what carries over. So Savage Striker is a 2-mana 2/3 Druid minion, and it has Battlecry, deal damage to an enemy minion equal to your hero's attack. It is very much capped by how much attack Druid hero can really have, which I guess Twig plus the Malfurion and the Pestilent 4, but in regular circumstances it'll be between 1 and 2.
Well, there is, as you said, Malfurion and the Pestilent. There is a Claw. The only one that really makes sense is Claw, maybe, but
I don't see this being ran a lot.
This card, without the Battle Cry, has River Crocolisk stats. In most situations, it's just going to deal 1 damage. Yeah. Probably doesn't make it worthwhile. It's not even a beast. I suppose the striker refers to the rider of that raptor, not the raptor itself.
Yeah. Springpaw is the next one. 1 mana, 1/1 beast for Hunter. It has Rush, and it has Battlecry at a 1/1 links with Rush to your hand.
There's 2 cards that you can compare this to.
Alley Cat.
I was gonna say Firefly and Hunting Mastiff.
Oh, yeah.
Those 2, basically. Firefly seems like the closer comparison, because you can only get exactly 2.
Yeah, so you go down 1 health,
and they're also 1-drops.
You get the Rush instead.
So yeah, exactly, that's the trade-off. You can attack with them right away, which seems like a big advantage if you want to trade them off, which is often what you will do with smaller minions.
Yeah, maybe that's going to work with the, what's it called, the Toxmonger guy again. Pretty good with Rush.
So Fireflies are rad. This card is situationally better, and in other situations it's worse. In most situations, arguably, it's better, because a lot of AoEs deal 2 damage, and a lot of minions 2 cost and up will have 2+ attack. Yeah. So the 1 extra point of health does matter, but it doesn't matter that much.
Not that much, but it's value.
The Rush, I think, will matter more often than the health.
It's pretty good.
And especially in a Hunter where you can already buff the beast, I think that even then the 1 point is even less relevant, because if you go Springpaw, Houndmaster, for example, it matters even less if it's a 3/3 or 3/4.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to deal 3. And seems like good value. Baited Arrow is a 5-mana Hunter spell that deals 3 damage, and it has Overkill. Summon a 5/5 Devil Soar.
I mean, it perfectly shows the mechanic, but it's a bad card. I mean, if someone gave you a 5/5 Battlecry, deal 2 damage to a minion, you wouldn't play it. Which is already a somewhat specific situation to even be in to activate it in the first place.
Reign of Toads is a 6-mana Shaman spell that summons 3/2/4 Taunt Toads with Taunt, and it has Overload 3.
Yeah, this also seems kind of bad.
I'd like to just note that some badass Spirit Wolves are 2/3s, and some Toads, like Budget Frogs, are 2/4s. That's diabolical. That's disrespectful.
So yeah, as you already said, you can compare this to Spirit Wolves. You can
I'm comparing this to Spreading Plague, and my decision is that I'm keeping playing Druid.
So you can compare this to Spirit Wolves, which is, I guess, to Spirit Wolves and to Chain Gang, which are the best comparisons, because both can be ran by Shamans. Both are better, arguably.
Yeah, of course.
Both only generate 2 cards, but they're also significantly cheaper.
Yeah.
They have a little less health, but I mean, effectively paying 9 mana for 3/2/4s, even with Taunt, is not that good.
Doesn't seem that strong. Pyromaniac, 3-mana 3/4 mage minion, rare. Whenever your hero power kills a minion, you draw a card.
Now, 3-mana 3/4 is perfectly in line with stats.
Yeah,
for a
3-drop. Mage 2, you deal 2, so that happens more often.
And the extra card draw situationally is nice. I think this is a perfectly balanced card. It's not overpowered, but it's balanced, right? It's very balanced.
It remains to be seen if it's actually going to be ran.
I think this is one of those cards that is good enough to be run if there is a deck that wants to run.
Yeah, exactly. But that's doubtful right now. Maybe all mages. And we have a mage legendary as well, and that is Hexlord Malakras. 8-mana 5/5, and this is an interesting one. Battlecry, add a copy of your opening hand to your hand, except this card. So you can't get a Malakras from your Malakras.
Well, it's an 8-mana 5/5, which is of course horrible, but you're going for the value from the card.
Right? So my first thought when I saw this was Quest, right? What happens to Quest, mate? You're getting a second Open the Waygate, you're getting possibly a few spells. That's not so bad.
You're getting a second Open the Waygate, and I suppose up to 4 cards to proc it with. It remains to be seen if you get the coin.
Well, is the coin part of the opening hand? That's the question, right? But this seems to be interesting if you can find the right combo to use it in. This could be a really, really strong card. And lastly, so far, and this is of Saturday, by the way, Because this video is going up on Sunday, so...
There is no more BlizzCon panels on Hearthstone at the main stage. There's only a bit of tournament play, so presumably there will be no new Hearthstone announcements during BlizzCon.
So no card releases either?
Presumably. Again, I'm just guessing based off the schedule.
So the last one that we have right now is Cannon Barrage. It's a 6-mana rogue spell.
Yes.
It says deal 3 damage to a random enemy minion. Repeat for each of your pirates. So pirate synergy again in rogue. Tying this into what we're also going to talk about, in the description of the rogue champion, I think said something about the pirate never being without their loyal crew.
This charming and flashy pirate has come ashore to claim her share of glory in the rumble, and she'll lie, cheat, and steal to get it. Rogues who choose Captain Hooktusk as their champion will find that she rarely goes anywhere without her loyal crew.
Which makes me think that somehow, some way, this pirate will summon or bring up more pirates onto the battlefield.
And we already have the fan of the Sharks who
He's a huge fan.
will also summon more pirates.
Yeah.
And I would argue that this card is worth playing once you got 2 or more pirates on board just by mana calculation.
If you have a lot of pirates, then yeah, that's pretty good.
And of course, this does lend itself to 2 different strategies. A control-oriented strategy with a white board could use that to clear off opposing minions. Of course, you can't control where it hits. Or an aggressive strategy could hope to just have as much go-to-face as possible. Of course, for an aggressive strategy, having a 6-drop card is always a bit of a question, but...
Wait, can it go to face?
Random enemy, yes.
Random enemy? Oh yeah, I thought it said enemy minion. Okay, so it can actually go face.
They've also...
Which means that fill your board with pirates, opponent doesn't have a minion, and play this?
Yeah, exactly. Deal 21 damage to face.
Yeah, not bad. It's pretty good.
That's the upper bound, of course, but, 21 damage to face.
It's pretty strong.
Plus having 7 minions on board, which presumably combined can deal the about 9 damage that you have remaining.
If you have Thalnos, does it +1 too?
Oh god, yes.
But then, of course, you can only have 6 pirates, so it kind of...
Blizzard, please don't introduce spell damage pirates. Thank you.
Spell damage pirates? Like just Mally and Sharkfin, whatever, and then this for easy wins?
Oh god.
Maybe. I don't know if this is affected by spell damage.
It should be. It is damage dealt by a spell.
Yeah. It should be.
There is no reason why it shouldn't, because AoEs are also affected, and they also affect multiple targets.
Yeah, it works that way with arcane missiles too and Cinderstorms. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
This is basically comparable in that case to greater arcane missiles. In that case, the individual missiles are buffed rather than the number of missiles. Cinderstorm and arcane missiles, they just send more missiles.
Yeah. Well, maybe we still need to go get pirates and spell damage on the board. It's maybe not that easy. But those are the cards we have released so far as of Saturday, the day before this video is obviously live on YouTube. Which in this case, quickly before we get into the next one, let me remind you to like this video because we're putting a lot of work into this, obviously. And this is a long video, and we're trying to cover everything that we've learned about this expansion to give to you as many details as possible. All the sources that we're using, by the way, you'll find in the description, all the articles and the descriptions. The links are all in the video description, so leave a like on the video for us bringing this to you, and let's get into what else we have.
Well, the last remaining thing is
the Loas.
It's speculation. It's less about the Loas and more about the champions, because we don't really have any direct information about the Loas. We have their names, we have pictures of how they look. Yeah. We have them existing in the World of Warcraft.
Some of them look pretty cool.
Which means that we could extrapolate based on that, but I don't think that's feasible. We can, however, extrapolate what the champions do.
Yeah. So we already did talk about Rogue, so that's a possibility. Let's just go from the top to the bottom. So maybe start with the Druid.
We already talked about the Mage because we know the card.
Yeah.
And the one sentence that I want to point out really quickly is, it says, he'll give mages who are willing to plan ahead access to useful resources, which in an abstract manner perfectly describes what he does.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm assuming that most of those cards would do that.
Exactly. So
same for Warlock, by the way. He seems to be everywhere at once, and he summons a board full of himself.
Well, you are talking about the Bat Loa, though. You're not talking about
the Bat.
Yeah, you're talking about hir'eek, not Jack Khalil.
Yeah. Yes. But that's High Priestess Jack Khalil, champion of hir'eek's bats. And the bats, like, they summon copies of themselves. So maybe that's...
but I'm saying it doesn't perfectly...
No, but maybe that's kind of the theme of the...
anyways, Druid. War Druid Loti keeps her distance from the other Rumble competitors, preferring the company of her dinosaur Loa, Gonk, and other scaled companions. Druids will discover that she'll She's a master of shapeshifting and claw-to-hand combat. People have suggested that the distance from the Rumble competitors might refer to stealth.
Yeah.
And the shapeshifting to something relating to choose one effect.
Choose one or choose several, I don't know.
So it would on one hand make sense if she was one of those typical choose one druids where it's like either get an aggressive form or a defensive one. On the other hand, then having stealth in both forms is something that's a bit unusual.
Yeah, if you want to have like rush or something, you need stealth.
Maybe it is a Fendril-like effect where you can get both effects combined for your other minions.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Maybe it lets you choose twice, which will be the same as having both, but also you could potentially put the same one.
Or choose every turn, anew.
Oh, that would be a bit too complicated, but...
Probably. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So 100 is the next one.
Yes. Warlord Zul'jin, whom I've heard is rumored to be a hero card.
Okay.
Though that is... I've literally only heard it being said. I don't have any sources for that.
Word on the street.
Is reckless, bitter, and has a chip on his shoulder that's even bigger than his blade. He's more than willing to unleash the primal power of Halazi the Lynx Slower upon his competitors, but he's also got a special knack for the mystical side of the hunt.
So you probably said that this hints at spell hunter type stuff, right?
Which would make sense if it was a hero to maybe have a hero power that either generates spells or similar to Hagatha generates off of spells. Or maybe he just has passive spell damage. I don't know.
Well, the question remains, is that gonna be enough to overcome a Rexar? Because Rexar is ran in Spell Hunter as well, and you know how good Rexar is.
Well, yes. Another thing that I think he might do if he's a hero card is Battlecry equip a weapon.
Maybe.
Because it specifically calls out his big blade.
Yeah. So
I don't know, maybe.
Maybe he's bringing it away. Maybe he's his hero power. I don't know. Mage is Malakras, we already talked about.
Yes.
Paladin is High Priest Thikal, champion of Shabala's Tigers.
This master fighter is a fan favorite. Wielding the light as a weapon, he can use his healing energy in ways Paladin haven't seen before. Confident to a fault, Thikal moves almost as quickly as he talks, dancing around his opponents for the crowd.
Wind Fury?
Exactly, that's what I thought too. Other people have said charge. I think Wind Fury makes more sense.
Wind Fury makes sense.
Probably not charge, probably if anything rush, because they don't really do charge anymore.
The tiger already has lifesteal, so there might be more of that. There's probably going to be some type of healing involved.
I could see the ability similar to maybe the Blackguard, where it's like, when you're healing, also deal damage to a random opponent, or something along the Arcanine Soul Priest, where it deals damage, because you're using healing in a new way. So lifesteal isn't really new, or just straight up heal something. Maybe also something else that procs off of healing. It also says that he's a fan favorite, which people have compared to crowd favorite. Don't think that's a thing, but yeah, that's a card. Yeah.
Priest is Princess Talanja, champion Talanji.
I don't know.
Champion of Zombie.
One Zombie. I'm just guessing. I'm not a Warcraft player. Okay, don't kill me.
My bad.
As Princess of the Zanlari Empire, Rastakhan'S own daughter calls the Loa of the Dead her companion. Talanji will aid priests in turning their foes' own might against them if forced to fight.
So some mind control sort of stuff, maybe? Some stealing opponents' minions?
That's the obvious guess.
Some misdirecting.
People have said something along the lines of light bombs or betrayal.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, deal damage equal to the health or attack or whatever to each minion, maybe.
So something along those lines, something that relates to getting a bonus out of enemy minions having attack, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Shaman is Sentimo, champion of Kragwa's Frogs. That's a hell of a team name.
The crowd finds his witch doctor mysterious, quiet, and more than a little unsettling. He's content to let his giant frog, Loa Kragwa, do the fighting while he helps Shamans master channeling elemental magic.
Huh. So the giant frog is gonna be his Loa, right? His beast. So maybe that's gonna be a big taunt or something.
That would make perfect sense. Yeah.
And the guy himself does control stuff like spells.
So maybe it's spell damage. Maybe he unlocks overloaded mana crystals.
Yeah.
And he's quiet, which might reference something related to silencing.
Silencing or stealth.
Or, that could also work.
Stealth would also work.
That makes more sense.
Rogue, we already talked about as well.
Because he lets the fight into others, so he probably has stealth.
Captain Hooktusk, we already talked about with the pirates that might may or may not be coming along.
Yeah, we also kind of mentioned the Warlock already.
Warlock and the Warrior. Finally, we have the War Master Voon. I like that name. Champion of Akali's Rhinos.
Voon finds kinship in the Rhino Loa Akali. He's a simple troll. He loves loud drums and a roaring crowd.
Yeah.
And
Raucous After Party?
Raucous After Party.
They have after parties?
But this former member, the Black Dragonflight, will give warriors special insight in the ways of dragons.
Oh, dragons too? That's getting better and better. I like this warrior stuff now.
So, I don't think it's the first time they've attempted to link warrior to dragons.
Yeah.
I don't think they've actually had too many cards for that. They did try that in dungeon runs for sure. They had a dragon package of warrior for some reason.
Yeah, I remember that very clearly.
So apparently,
I've been there.
Apparently, Dragon Warrior is going to be a thing,
I like,
or at least Hearthstone's going to try to make.
I like the idea of that. I like that and the idea.
I've always liked Dragon Priest as a concept, so I definitely don't hate Dragon Warrior.
That sounds alright.
I like dragons. That's a thing. They also have quick descriptions for the teams, which for Paladin just mentions random Paladin stuff. For the bats, it mentions sacrifice, which makes me think that they might do more of, well, maybe just hurting themselves, which is typical. Maybe also more of the kill one of your own minions to gain a benefit.
That's usually what it is.
Like Ravenous Raptor type.
Yeah.
What? No, that's not what it's called. It's the Ravenous Pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl, yeah.
Yeah, Druids are about raptors. So maybe they're trying Beast Druid again with the synergies. They've attempted a few times.
Yeah.
The links is mention beasts and spells again, so that's
this guy's so
basically what Hunter is already doing. Shaman mentions frogs and lightning, which is also what they've already been doing.
Yeah. Frogs and lightning.
The Dragonhawks is the mage team. They mention
sounds like my Saturday night.
They do mention elementals, which makes me think that they might bring elementals back.
Fire elementals.
Well, fire elementals specifically they mention, and generally fire, so it makes you think of general like a tempo burn mage type thing, and maybe they're trying to bring elemental mage back, not that it was ever really that big of a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I played it, but it wasn't never really viable.
No, it wasn't huge.
The Rhinos mention heavy metal, and that's really all that I need to say.
Yeah. The Rhinos are badass.
They love to charge head first into the fray, might refer to charge or rush. They're all about big spikes, loud music, and melting faces. There's no problem that they can, So probably rush stuff.
Yeah, probably big guys.
Rogue mentions the typical cheating type stuff, and of course,
still
pirates are very much implied.
I like the idea too. And then finally, Priest, which you said the Loa wasn't going to be a beast.
Yeah, and also the Priest specifically mentions Resurrection. It says, Masters of Death, spooky, unsettling, and eerie. This team sends a chill down the crowd's spine. The Loa of the dead and the team devoted to him is just as creepy as you'd expect. They're known for raising the dead and making dangerous bargains.
Ah, nice. So yeah, Resurrection definitely.
So, Resurrect Priest, Big Priest, that type of thing.
Yeah, Melon Malagos and Smackety Smack.
So, they're probably gonna have more cards along those lines. Not that we're currently lacking in Resurrection cards, we're more lacking into getting the cheaper token copies in the early game, which is to say we don't have barns.
Well, they're not in Big Priest, but Resurrect Priest just usually have Shadow Visions and you rely on Shadow Essence and Eternal Servitude and Spellstone eventually.
Yeah, of course, but still, Shadow Essence is later than Barnes.
Yeah, Scrolls Barnes was really, really strong. That's true, but don't necessarily need to come back.
So
that deck wasn't.
But that general strategy seems to be something that they're going for.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. So that's the quick overview. Over the ideas of the classes, over the ideas of the champions. Links to that, of course, also in the description if you want to read that by yourself, more in depth. And let us know what you think about the expansion as a whole, like the theme and kind of where they're going, as far as we can tell for now. And I'm assuming there's going to be a Hearthstone report every week now, at least until the expansion is released, and probably going on from there, because there's going to be cards released, which we're going to review as soon as they come out every week. So we'll check back on Sundays, every Sunday on TrashcanTV for a Hearthstone report and a weekly card review. And maybe also Saturday night if you got some time. We have a podcast on Saturday night. And through the week, we play some Hearthstone too. We have some gameplay. Don't only do the Hearthstone report. And leave a like I already said, and subscribe to TrashcanTV Gaming. We're going to see you in the next video.
One thing first. Talking about upcoming content, we have once before played one of those little mini tournaments against one another.
The tournaments.
We're doing another one of those.
Another one.
We'll be revealing the deck lists we're playing tomorrow and probably releasing the actual games over the next week.
Yeah, so maybe start on Tuesday.
Sure.
So and then just once a day or something.
Yeah, something along those lines.
So yeah, tournament, man, be hyped for that. Still Boomsday, of course.
Yeah, naturally.
But yeah, we'd like to do that more on the channel now, and that's gonna be a fun way to just kick it off.
I assume we're gonna do
reminder
a similar thing soon after the expansion drops. Beginning of December.
Well, I don't know.
Or January.
Beginning of December, maybe a month into the expansion.
Yeah, so
we'll see.
Beginning of January, maybe.
We'll do more of that stuff. Maybe we'll have some...
Over Christmas is a bit tough.
Yeah, maybe we'll have some guests on here too to try and face us. So that could be a thing. Maybe we'll do it as a reward too. Maybe we'll do a giveaway and you get to face us in a Hearthstone tournament.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that. So thank you for watching. Leave a like. And if you like that idea, by the way, let us know. We are open to doing that. And yeah, subscribe to TrashcanTV. We're going to see you in the next video. JJ.
That's it?
That's it.